okay, so you have mental health first aiders, you have peer support groups, you have an EAP. You're doing everything you think they want, but there's still a lot of work-related stress. There's still mental health issues going on within the business. And from an organization, point of view, we can't fix their marriage. We can't keep giving them a pay rise because they're living outside of their means or there's been a financial burden being put on them. But what we can do from an organization is actually look at what we do to impact them. And are we giving them exactly what they need, or are we giving them what we think they need? And one way that we at Proactive Action look at when we're doing assessments around psychosocial hazards, we actually look at what is the perception behind the answers. Because sometimes people can read the same question, but because of their perception, they're answering it completely different, but they think the same. So the answer should be the same. So when we're looking at doing the assessments, we're looking at consultations. What is the actual understanding behind the answers that we're getting within the assessment? And what do they actually want? And why do they want it? A lot of people will sort of say, oh yeah, we want this, and then they get it, and then they're still not happy, or it's still not actually hitting the mark that you thought it would do. So understanding what is it that they want and why do they want that gives them a chance to pause and reflect to, is it actually something that they want? Because it may have been something they wanted a year ago, but not actually right now. But moving into consultation, so we do focus groups with our assessments of really getting to a point of saturation of what's actually going on within the business under the bonnet. We have the data here with it regards to the assessment, but now let's actually understand from a person, let's add the human factor of perception into it, of what they're actually wanting and how can the business serve them in a way that's conducive to their well-being. Some people, I had an assessment done, and the company has a great culture, and they did monthly gatherings where they would get everyone together and they would talk about the business wins, what they've got coming up next. They would put awards in, and they would generally have a talk, just a social event as well within that. And under consultation, what came out is the fact that a lot of people didn't actually want it. And what they wanted was a newsletter. And the reason why they wanted a newsletter is because all of them wanted something different. And some of them felt quite uncomfortable with the sort of awards being given every single month. So I said, okay, so what do you want on the newsletter? And they sort of listed everything that they wanted. And they said, and I said, okay, so what about the social? And then they sort of said, okay, well, this is what we want for social. And I was like, okay, great. So understanding that and then giving that to the company and saying, okay, so this is what you're currently doing. Some of them like it and these are the aspects, but then others don't, and this is what they want instead. And the actual management were quite upset because they thought they were doing the right thing, and it was like the actual what they were doing was great, but it wasn't what their team wanted, which is the important thing, right? So within 2 weeks, they rolled out the newsletter, and I remember walking into the office to go and see the leadership team, and this lady just ran up to me and she said, they've listened. We've got a newsletter. And she was so happy and ecstatic, the fact that that they had been heard and acknowledged and that they were getting more out of it. And even like doing the assessment that we just did 2 weeks ago, it actually came back and said, we actually want this on the newsletter as well now, because I think this would be really good because of X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, okay, that's great. And then the feedback went back again. So constantly they're evolving and understanding what they want from the business and why they want it. Because when we're into focus groups, it's not about moaning about everything that's wrong and that the company can't do something. It's not about that. It's about understanding from a psychosocial point of view, what is impacting them and what they want instead, and questioning that to make sure that it is actually what they need as well, because sometimes what people want and what they need are two different things. So just bringing them together. And obviously being an independent, it sort of opens a safe space, and sort of going back to companies every few months to do the assessments and stuff. I've become very familiar and very safe, and they know from past experiences that nothing they say to me actually goes back as an individual. It comes from me as feedback. So it builds a lot of more confidence. So then we get really good data coming through because they can see those changes moving forward. So start looking at what is it that your people need, and is it, or what they want, and is it what they need, and understanding why it is they need that. And then you can you'll start seeing the business moving in a forward trajectory of making sure that we're looking after our people the best way we can, and the intentions or the incentives that we do or initiatives that we do are actually making a difference, and we're not wasting anyone's time. So be intentional, be targeted, and listen to your people. If you've got any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to help.